As I was driving to work today, I started to think about the Konmari Method and how similar it is to the Waldorf kindergarten teacher method that I was taught when my kids were little. I remember visiting the classroom and getting to be a kindergarten helper, which was such a fun thing to do. And the teachers had cleanup time after playtime in the morning. And when they had cleanup time, the children learned how to take care of things and fold them and roll them and put them away, and everything had a place and everything was stored in a certain way. And it reminded me of the Marie Kondo method that people are doing now, how we're all working to clear out our shelves and our closets and take care of our things. And I was just thinking what a nice thing that is to teach our children. And I struggled with that when my children were small, and I think many of us do with just too many toys and how to take care of them. So I thought I would talk about how I learned as a mom in Waldorf school in the parent education classes, and some ideas for what you could do. So the Konmari Method says to pile every single toy you have in your house, right like this. Make a huge pile. I made a huge pile. And then what you do, you can do this with your children. Just pile every single thing up. And so it's going to be, of course, a huge mound. Mine would have been a huge mound. And then you take each thing one by one and you hold it up to yourself and you think, does this spark joy? Now the Waldorf kindergarten teachers are also looking at, does it spark imaginary play? And I think that's something as moms we can think about with toys too at home. Well, is this sparking imagination play in my children? Do they still use it to pretend? And so I would say with this one, not really anymore. So I'm going to put it in my discard pile. Okay, then I'm going to take this play silk and I'm going to, yeah, this does spark joy for me. So I'm going to put this here. This doll, not so much. So I'm going to say with gratitude, thank you, doll. And one thing I would tell my children when they were small is, you know, this doll, we loved it, and some other child will also love it. So let's give it away to the other children. And that often helped them to let things go. So for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to say sparks joy, so we can learn about making a basket of silks. And now this doll is one of my favorites, so this sparks joy in me for reals. I love this one, so I'm keeping this one. I think I'm done with you, elephant puppet, with gratitude. Thank you. I just love these, but I think I'm done playing with these. So I'm going to put these away in their little first aid kit. Put them over here. I'm going to keep this book because I want to have a book. I'm going to keep these play clips because they have value still for fort building. And let's say I'm going to keep all the play silks. So here's my keep pile and here's my discard pile. Thank you very much. So that's the number one thing you do, is you sort through your toys. And the second thing to do is to take really good care of them. So we are going to take good care of our dolls, and we're going to make sure that their hair is well groomed and their clothes are clean. And the same thing with the play silks. Play silks can be washed by the children and by you in the sink by hand with shampoo or dish soap. They can be ironed. Even children can iron with adult help. And then if we carefully fold them, it's one of the beautiful things about the Konmari Method is how she's doing all this folding and rolling. And I remember in kindergarten sometimes the folding and rolling of the cloths was, during cleanup time, was something the children would even argue over who got to do. So let's try folding into thirds. And then we'll just roll. We'll try storing them into this basket. Okay, that didn't work out as well as I liked, so I'm going to try this, folding into thirds and going like this. And children will love doing this if you do it with them. If you sit down together, you can take care of your play silks. And you can just roll them up and put them into the basket. Next I'll do blue. You can teach children the rainbow order as you go. If they're a little bit older, around 5 or 6, children love to learn rainbow order. I'll sometimes even tell you if you're out of rainbow order. So I don't have the whole rainbow here, but We'll go like this. And let's do our pink silk. It's very satisfying to roll them up, put them into a basket. And then I would always store the play clips on the edges, so they're ready for fort building or puppet theater making. And there we have a basket of play potential. So the last thing we want to do is make sure that we have space to store this basket. And you might have a few baskets. Maybe this is one, and maybe we have a basket for the doll, or the doll could sit on the shelf. Here, let's go over here to this. We have a little shelf over here. We could put the play silks there. We could put the doll over here. And maybe I'll save the book to put next to the children's bed. And there we have an idea for clearing out your toys and keeping the things that really do spark joy and imagination in your children's life.